Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. A shout out to drone enthusiasts everywhere, and as usual, a shout out to my friends at the Drone Seekers. Yeah, I wore my Drone Seekers t-shirt today. Proud to wear it. Hey, so I'm just coming off the trip to Spin Up 2019 in Austin, Texas. Gosh, it was in the 90s down there one of the days, and I'm back here in Idaho where fall is definitely fallen. It's about 58 degrees out here right now. Wind gusts up to 16 miles an hour, 11 mile an hour sustained. I'll put up the UAV forecast right now. You'll note that it says not good to fly. That's just because it didn't find a lot of satellites, but I'm quite certain that the Fimi X8 SE will. So that brings us to the reason for this video, and that is that there again was a new firmware release for the Fimi X8 SE, and there again I have to applaud Fimi. They're continually improving this quad, and it's becoming one of my favorite birds. Of course, who am I kidding? All of my quads are my favorite bird, but I do enjoy flying it, and this camera firmware, while they didn't specify exactly what it does, it just says that it optimized the camera. Okay, whatever that means. So we'll take it up in the air, we'll take a look at it and see if we can see any difference. I'll have all the settings on automatic, color to ordinary. I will set the white balance to sunny day because it is indeed a sunny day today, even though we've got some wind. So we'll take it up, we'll look at some of the trees changing colors. I'm looking at some of the trees around me, and heck, all their leaves are gone already. So not only have they already changed colors, the leaves are gone. And it's funny, it just seems like that just takes a week or two to happen. As you guys might recall, it was just a few weeks ago I was out here battling the lawnmowers. So no need for lawnmowers today. The grass is not growing. So anyway, let's quit messing around. Let me get this bird in the air, and we'll see what we can see with the camera. I'm not exactly what to even look for. I wish they would give us some more direction, but we'll see. We'll look at the color, and we'll look. There have been some complaints about how white balance does not work correctly on this bird. I don't know. I have seen it sometimes as you get in a different situation. It looks like even though you have the white balance set in a particular parameter, it looks like it changes. I'm not a camera expert, so I don't really know, but we'll take it up there and we'll see what we can see, and yeah. Okay, so we've got the Fimi X8 SE fired up, and it looks like we have some new camera firmware, so we're going to start that download now. Typically it doesn't take very long, and it looks like it's moving pretty fast. The download is successful, so we're going to click download completed, enter device, and it should ask us, yeah, it's asking us to update the firmware, so we're going to click update now. And again, it just says optimizing image quality, so we'll see what that looks like. It's interesting when it does that download. So it does a download initially, and then when you get into the app, it downloads the firmware again. Not sure what that's all about. I'm going to say that this must be a fairly substantial firmware download because I'm on a pretty fast connection. I'm at home on Wi-Fi, and this really should only have taken a few seconds. So it must be a pretty big file. So we've reached 50% on the firmware download. Typically with the Fimi XE, and that's exactly what's happening. Once it reaches 50%, it then goes into the updating part of the update where it's actually, and in this case it says updating the camera. Yeah, and it was indeed very fast. We're at 100%, so it should tell us complete here in a moment. Yeah, so there we have it, the update completed. It took it a second to come up there, so I was kind of curious about that. So we're going to click update completed. And it did say succeeded there as well, which is good to know. Look at this, we're ready to go GPS. Let's take a look at that file. Pardon me. Yeah, firmware update. And yes, indeed. So it does show camera firmware 1019C. Okay, that was really quick. I fired it up and we got 18 satellites almost instantly. Ironically, you'll remember that the UAV forecast app couldn't even find 9 satellites, but the drone has found 18 that quick. And boy, we got plenty of wind here. I'm sure you'll hear it on the microphone, even though I've got the dead cat on there. I'm going to move a little closer so that I make sure you guys can hear me. So anyway, let's quickly look through the camera menu here and see if we see any differences. So in automatic there, yeah, EV's the same. Anything in the menus here that I see that's new? White balance is showing as auto. We're going to change that to sunny day, as I told you we would. Whoop, sorry about that. So we're on sunny day. What do we have on cloudy here? Oh no, okay, so yeah, so that's just white balance. Okay, so we go back. Sorry about that. Yeah, so white balance is set to sunny. Color is on general, and gosh, I haven't looked at style in a while. I can't remember. Oh yeah, that's got the saturation and the contrast. We're going to leave those right where they are. See if we can see anything else here. Oh, the SD card should be good, but let's go ahead and format it just for the fun of it. Card is formatted. So yeah, so I don't really see anything new there on the camera menu. Gosh, at this point, let's just put it in the air. So I'm going to start recording and tilt the camera back down here so you can see the takeoff. Yeah, there you got it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit takeoff right here on the remote control. We're going to hold that button down. And boy, the wind blew the drone over immediately there, as you saw, but it seems to be holding pretty good. You can hear the drone fighting the wind. Let's one more thing I wanted to do was go in and look at the firmware, just so that you guys can see what it is. Firmware update, and you can see the camera 1019C there. So that's the only thing that changed. So you know, looks like we got a nice, good, even horizon. Let's bring the drone in like we typically do. I'm going to bring it into the camera here. We're not going to get too close, obviously, because of this wind, because the wind is really blowing it around. But there's the bird. Let's rotate it around here a little. And boy, it almost hit the ground there as I rotated it. I mean, the wind is really affecting it. Yeah, as soon as I rotated it, so I had to pick it up there. Yeah, I'm going to back it off from us here. Yeah, we're just, I like getting it in close to the camera, but we're just not stable enough in this wind to do so. This kind of reminds me of the way the Hudson used to be, but you know, it's hard to fault the drone in this kind of wind, and in fact, I'm grateful that it's operating like it is. So I'm going to drop the camera here just a little. Bring it back the other way. Okay, let's go backwards and up. So we're going to go reverse and up. Okay, let's pause there for a second. So that was a pretty good little droney there. So let's pick up the camera. You know, I do see a little bit of a crooked horizon, although, you know, I'm willing to give the bird a pass in this kind of wind. You know, what can you expect? Let's do a little shake and see if that flattens out. Yeah, maybe a little bit, not much. But like I said, in this kind of wind, and that is actually the direction that the wind is going, so it's pushing on one side of the bird. I'm willing to give it a pass there, but in any case, let's just do a slow yaw and see if we can look at some of the trees here and see what we can see with the camera. Boy, look at the red in those trees. Isn't that something? This is really cool. And by the way, as we yawed around, did you see the horizon flatten out there? So now the drone has got the wind behind it, so that kind of makes sense. Let's go forward here, so we can get a better look at some of these trees. I'm not going to fly the drone over these houses, but I'm going to get right to the edge of the park here so that we can take a look at some of the foliage. I'm telling you, it is really phenomenal this time of year. So we're going to yaw to the left. So I'm really working on trying to pinch rather than use my thumbs on the control gimbals. So let's talk about what you're looking at there. So off in the distance, that's the Boise foothills, and at the top, that very top peak, there's actually the Bogus Basin ski resort up there, and it's kind of interesting because from Boise you can get up to that ski resort in half an hour or so, 45 minutes maybe, so it makes it pretty handy. And then I'm going to yaw a little bit more to the left there and see if I can get it in the center of the screen, at the very top of your screen there now. That is a Mormon temple, or an LDS temple. You know what, I think they prefer the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I believe. But anyway, that is, I was able to actually take a tour through that before they consecrated it, and man, that is an amazing piece of architecture, I'll tell you. But let's go ahead and continue to yaw around here and look at these trees. So you can see some of the newer housing developments. Obviously the trees aren't as grown up, so we're not going to see as much. I'm also going to take you out over the field across the street, and there's a reason for that. As I came in today, there's a bunch of new construction going on. So we're going to get aimed right towards the corner of the park here, see if we can just go right over the top of the corner there, full stick forward. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit more to the left. As I said, you know, we talk a lot about our nation's economy and so forth, and I can tell you, and by the way, the drone is going straight into the wind here, so that's it's doing pretty good for bucking a big headwind. So I'm going to go out, and you can see the drone tilted forward because you can see the props in the and you can see how hard the drone is working to get out there. So we're going to get out over the field. I want to be safely over the field here. and we'll turn around and I'll show you the construction that I'm talking about. So this field that we're over right here, let me drop the gimbal down just a little. Looks like they're getting ready to do some construction here, I believe. And you'll see as I yaw around here. So we're going to go to the right, and people that are familiar with Boise Meridian area, that's Chinden Boulevard there, and this is 10 Mile. And you can see here, looks like they are going to widen out 10 Mile here. I'm backing the drone up here so you can see it. Lots of construction going on there, and I was actually they had stopped us as I was coming into the park here today. They had us stopped there while they were doing some digging, and you can see some dump trucks there. We're kind of over behind the LDS church here, and then you can see traffic is stopped right there. Yeah, let's go ahead and go out into the other field here. Let's see if I can kind of yaw around and show you what they're doing here. Maybe we can get just a little closer. Drop the gimbal down some. So it looks like they're widening out. That's 10 Mile Road, and it looked to me like they're doing a widening job there. And then all these fields that you see, you know, the ones that aren't already full of houses are going to be full of houses. Fascinating stuff to me, and it honestly shows how robust our economy really is. So I'm going to turn around here. I was facing it. You saw the signal on the top there. I was losing signal because I had passed where I was at, and I was not facing the drone. So you guys have seen this before. That's the big Walmart, mega Walmart. But these fields here, it's not going to be long. They're going to be full of houses. That right in kind of in the center of our screen here, towards the top, that's a brand new building that we're just heading to it now, that they're just building. That looks like a big credit union that they're building there. And then, you know, off in the distance there, that other building, let me center the gimbal on it, is, so you'll see these two buildings that I'm centered on right now. The one on the left is a Starbucks. The one on the right, there's a couple restaurants in there and a haircutting place. Anyway, probably more information than what you wanted, but anyway, I mean, I just think that the level of construction here is just fascinating. You look out behind the Walmart back there, and you can see there's a big housing development going in right there. And then these are new housing developments here, and then down below, you know, you can see they're preparing to put in streets and build a bunch more houses. A lot of people moving into Idaho, what they call the Treasure Valley. There they already have the streets in there. Let's just go right over the top of that. We are down to about 57% battery, so we're in pretty good shape. You know, we'll look at this this time next year, and I guarantee you there'll be houses there. So we'll go back over the top here and back towards the and you can see the wind affecting, because you can see that propeller in the picture here. We're going to go right over the parking lot of the church here and the parking lot of the grounds here and back over the top of the park. This is a fast, powerful drone. I'll tell you what, I love flying this thing. It really is gratifying to be able to get to where you want to fly so quickly. Take one more look at the foliage here. And by the way, if you look, you know, like I said, the gimbal looks pretty flat here. Although now as we yaw around, this tilt is almost the opposite of what we, well no, it is the same as what we had before. And what I'm going to tell you is, that's the direction that the wind is blowing. So the wind is kind of blowing the drone to that side. And it looks like it flattened out just a little bit here. So I think what we should do at this point is try a precision landing. So I'm going to hit return to home and land on the app. And I'm going to get out of the way so you guys can see the landing pad. And let's see if I can drop the gimbal down as we go. See if I can do that smoothly. Boy, big gust of wind just came up. Man, oh man. I'll tell you, that's the advantage to having a powerful drone like this. And it looks like it's not anywhere near the pad, but let's see if it finds it. We're down to 44% battery. I will, if it does not find it, and it doesn't look like it is, I am going, well, maybe. I'm going to give it a chance here. Oh, it's moving around. I don't know if that's the wind. Now I'm going to stop it. Okay. So I stopped it. It wasn't even close. So, but you know, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to give the drone the benefit of the doubt. It's awful windy. So you can see the pad there and me standing there. Let's I think we ought to try some of the functions in the tap fly or droney or orbit. You know what? I haven't done a spiral in a while. Let's get some altitude. Make sure we're above everything. At a central point in the radius, and the drone will fly around the central point. And yeah, so let's drop the camera down. Move forward a little bit. Call that the central point. So we're setting center, and then we have to fly away. So we've set that. Let's go to the next one, and let's set the radius. Let's put it out there a ways, and let's go counterclockwise, and we are going to set auto return and go. And like as I said, I like doing this stuff because I feel like in this kind of weather it's challenging the drone. And it is. It's moving away from us while it's doing a spiral. Boy, I looked right into the sun there. That wasn't smart. The drone is directly into the sun. It's really, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy watching the drone as it does these kind of maneuvers. So it's about, you know, it's further and further out there. It's about 50 meters out. It's approaching the front of us again. And it stopped, and it should be returning now, and it is. Pretty darn cool. Spiral mission completed. Okay, let's try one more. Let's do a droney. Let's do a rocket. We are about out of battery here, but set the shooting target, and they will fly high and shoot a video in the meantime. So we are going to drag a rectangle around me. I might be too small. I don't know. It says it's got me. Let's go. And go. It's giving me a low battery warning, but we're really close to home, so that's not going to be a problem. So it's right over the top of me, and it should ascend, which it is. We're down to 27% battery. And there it stopped. So I am going to start video again. I'm going to back the drone off. Pick up the gimbal. So we're far enough away. Let's try return to home again. I'm going to use the switch on the remote. And interestingly enough, using the switch on the remote, you don't get the warning on the screen. I just noticed of the, you know, that it's returning home. You usually get that dialog box in the middle of the screen. So it looks like I think it stands a better chance of finding that landing pad this time. So let's see what it does. And yeah, I wanted to make sure the camera is on it, and it is. Yeah, no, it does not look like it's gonna hit it. We'll give it a chance here though. No, I'm gonna cancel. Wouldn't let me cancel. Let's pick up the camera. Well, the wind was blowing it around, and this pilot was unable to hit the pad, so that's very humbling. But anyway, we are on the ground, so we didn't mow too much grass. Let me get it shut down here, and we'll do a quick conclusion. Okay, gang, the Fimi X8 SE. I think it did just fine today. I'd say the biggest failings were the pilot, that I couldn't land it on the pad. But other than that, I think it did just fine. So we get it home, we'll throw that SD card in the computer and we'll take a look at the video and see if we noticed any difference. We did have some nice fall colors to look at over the top of some of these houses. Kind of gave you a tour of some of the construction going on around here if you're interested in that. And then let's see, we did a spiral and we did a rocket droney just for the fun of it, and it did just fine. Precision landing seemed to be pretty much in op today. It's funny how some days it seems to work and other days it doesn't, although, you know, we had a lot of wind out here today. Just coincidentally, I had the orange side of the pad up today, and the last time I flew this, I was out at the Snake River. I had the blue side of the pad, and one of the commenters said, no, it won't recognize the blue pad. It's got to be the orange side. So anyway, we had the orange side out today on a green grass background, and it didn't see it. So that's just information. I'm not criticizing the product. I'm saying that I think this is a great product, and I enjoy flying it. And like I said, man, until you fly a drone with the kind of power that this has and like the Mavic 2 has, you don't know what you're missing. I mean, when you want to get out over the top of something, it's just a matter of pushing that stick forward and you're there. So and then on windy days like today, we had a lot of wind out here today, and it didn't bother this guy at all. The only thing I could see is, like I said, when we had it sideways in the wind, I did, you know, the drone was going to be up like that, I'm quite sure, and I did see a little hint of a tilted horizon. No big deal. I'm perfectly willing to give it a pass, you know, when it's operating in those kind of conditions. So yeah, so all good. I just always enjoy flying this guy, and yeah, so I guess that's about all I got to say. I'm happy to be home, back from Spin Up in Austin, Texas. Had a great time there. I think I said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. If you ever get a chance to do that, if you don't miss next year's Spin Up 2020, because it is really fun to get around your fellow drone enthusiasts, and you know, all the people that we see flying their drones on YouTube and stuff, they're all there, and it's fun to talk to everybody and see how they're doing. And plus, thank you, Kelly Shores, you put on some great presentations for us. So more on that. I'm going to do a recap, my personal little recap of my experiences there. But anyway, for today, we're focused on the Fimi X8 SE. Had a good flight, firmware upgrade, camera 1019C. We'll see if what differences we can see. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. And most of all, I do appreciate you taking the time to look at this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Drone Seekers right there. Friendliest drone group on the net. Fimi X8 SE. One of the best drone bargains out there right now. Bye.